Hello, in the last few minutes, it's been announced that the Conservative Party leadership candidate Liz Truss has pulled out of a BBC One television interview with Nick Robinson that was scheduled for tomorrow evening. It comes after Ms Truss's team hit back at criticism of her economic plans, after the Institute for Fiscal Studies think tank said that those plans were simplistic and warned that proposals to cut some taxes could even crash the economy. Well, our political correspondent Damien Grammaticus is here. First of all, let's talk about this interview, Damien. Why has she pulled out?
Well, what the BBC press office have said in the last few minutes is she's pulled out because she could no longer spare the time, is what we've been told. This was agreed about 2.5 weeks ago or so. So Liz Truss at the time agreed to the interview. It's scheduled to happen tomorrow, 7 p.m. It was due to be recorded with, as you say, Nick Robinson, the former political editor, now presenter of the Today programme, as part of a series he's been doing about our next Prime Minister, and the explanation given, as I was saying, that she can't fit it in.
Rishi Sunak had done a similar interview.
Yes, he did. So Rishi Sunak did it. His one, actually, he did about a week before Liz Truss confirmed that she was going to do this one. He's also done other interviews with Channel 4. She's spoken to GB News with an audience question there. So she has done events. Rishi Sunak has done more. He did a Channel 4 one with Andrew Neil, the presenter there. He said at the time in the BBC interview, he was repeating his messages. He was saying he'd rather be telling people the unvarnished truth and what they needed to hear rather than what they wanted to hear.
She has been the front runner, according to the opinion polls of Conservative Party members, pretty much throughout this whole leadership campaign. I suppose some people will speculate she didn't have much to gain and everything to lose, perhaps, by doing this interview.
Well, I think that's what everyone always says, isn't it, about politicians running for office who are ahead in the polls, is that often they view it that way. We don't know more about if there are any other reasons, but simply that, as we understand it, it's to do with the timing. But at the same time, as you're indicating, both candidates, their plans have come under a lot of scrutiny. Liz Truss's plan, her economic plans, more scrutiny today from the Institute for Fiscal Studies, which is very respected and is looking at sort of economic planning, economic forecasts. As you're saying, the criticism there from Paul Johnson, the director, was that if what's being talked about as potential measures by Liz Truss to cut rates of income tax, to cut VAT, all those sorts of things, if she did all of those sorts of things, he was saying today that she could potentially crash the public finances. So there are questions that people want to ask, and quite serious ones, about both candidates and how they will handle the current situation.
Just in terms of the electorate in this race, the Conservative Party membership, I mean, pretty much all of them must have voted by now, because the results we're getting on September the 5th, not many days away.
Yes, 1 week away, 1 week today, and they have to get their ballots in, obviously, before then, by post or electronically. We don't know how many are still to vote, how many have cast their votes. None of that is known at this stage. So they don't have very much time left at all. And we're pretty late in the day for anything to change the dynamics of this race. The
reality is that whoever wins this contest and is the next Prime Minister is going to face an extraordinarily difficult time as Prime Minister, taking over at a time of an energy bill crisis, rising cost of living, high inflation, interest rates going up, everything else.
Yes, exactly. And from Monday next week, whoever it is will be taking over and, as you say, have a very full and incredibly difficult in-tray to deal with. That particularly, that inflation driven by energy prices. We've just seen that increase that's going to come to the energy the price cap on your home energy bills. All of that is driving the inflation, but also this sort of excess demand in the economy, which is pushing things along too. And that's part of the reason that Paul Johnson was saying that he was criticising Liz Truss's plans, saying that cutting taxes would potentially be very counterproductive in his view in that circumstance.
All right, Damien, for the moment, thank you very much.